What's going on YouTube? It's Dwayne, back again for another video, back again for another reaction, and today is an absolute beautiful day. Do you know why? You know why. Because it's a day where I react to Sweden. 10 typical Swedish meals. What does that say? Husmanskost. Husmanskost. Did I say that right? I probably said that absolutely incorrectly. But yes, 10 typical Swedish meals. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into this reaction. Let's go.
Hey, and welcome to Fun Swedish.
Hello.
I hope you're hungry today because we're going to talk about food. Swedish food. What is traditional Swedish food?
Yeah.
Well, at home, most Swedes eat international food, such as pasta, nachos, and pizza.
Okay.
But if we feel like eating something more Swedish, what do we eat? Well, we eat husmanskost.
Husmanskost. Say that again.
What do we eat? Well, we eat husmanskost.
Husmanskost. I tried.
Husmanskost is the word we use to refer to typical Swedish dishes.
Okay.
It's the houseman diet. The thing that a man eats at home.
Oh, that's what it means. Houseman's diet. Houseman's diet. Okay.
That's maybe the logic. But this word is the word you need if you want to Google traditional Swedish food. So I would Google svensk husmanskost or just husmanskost. So here comes the list of 10 typical Swedish husmanskost.
Okay.
Things for you to try at a restaurant or if you go to a Swedish friend's house.
See, this is a useful video because when I go to Sweden, I need to know what food I need to order if I want to try some traditional Swedish dishes. I'm sure that you guys will let me know anyways if I asked you like what should I order or what place I should go to in like Stockholm or Gothenburg. You guys would let me know, but it's always good to know beforehand the specific dishes I need to order,
so you can get the real Swedish experience. So let's get hungry, but before we do that, don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
Make sure you subscribe to her.
Number 1.
I will leave her channel down below in the comment section. No, in the description.
IKEA's most sold dish, and also the one that is the most internationally famous Swedish dish. Köttbullar med gräddsås, inlagd gurka, rårörda lingon och potatismos.
Wow. That sounded, I was like, I'm going to try and say what she said. I cannot say what she said. But that looks like Swedish meatballs.
Lingon is this berry that grows a lot in the Nordic countries. It looks like this and it has an acidic taste to it. You're going to see this berry a lot in this list because we love to mix it with meat. Meatballs are something you're going to see very, very often here in Sweden.
Yeah.
Both at someone's home but also in the restaurants. If you eat them at home, you might not include everything that we mentioned before. Maybe you'll also switch the lingon to ketchup instead. But if you go to a more traditional Swedish restaurant, then you're gonna get your lingon for sure.
Okay.
Swedish meatballs are very often made out of nötkött. Or it can be a
Nötkött. What's that?
mix between nötkött and fläskkött.
Cow and pig. Fläskkött. What's this?
Out of nötkött. Or it can be a mix between nötkött and fläskkött.
Fläskkött, which is pig.
Which is cow meat and pork meat.
Pork meat.
Then we have the evolution of the köttbulle. Number 2, Wallenbergare. Wallenbergare is like a big meatball, but made of kalvkött, which is veal. And for those who doesn't know, it's basically baby cow. Sorry for being so explicit.
Don't worry. If there's any vegans below, I'm sorry. Yeah.
This is normally served with potatismos, lingonsylt, and gröna ärtor, which is again mashed potatoes, lingonberry jam, and green peas. One thing you're going to notice with Swedish husmanskost is the lack of variation in the vegetables. There is no lettuce there, for example. Normally it's just potato and peas. Because back in the old days, it was the only thing that we can grow here due to the Swedish cold weather.
Ah, okay, that makes sense. Because potatoes grow anywhere. Potatoes, all you need is like a big, like a really like deep container, some good soil, put a potato underneath there, water it, and that will grow. You don't even need to do anything. Like, potatoes are amazing. They're actually amazing. They grow anywhere. And I don't know about peas though. Peas, I don't know how to grow peas. I know when I'm older, I'm going to be like, I'm going to have green fingers. I'm going to have a garden. I'm going to be like one of the elderly people that just does their garden all the time. And that's going to be me.
The traditional Mediterranean salad with lettuce, tomato, and other things came a lot later to Sweden. It's sad that it came with the first migration wave from Greece. So thank you for this. Otherwise, we would still have been eating a lot of green peas. Now, back to Wallenbergare. What does it mean? The dish is named after Wallenberg-familjen, which is one of the richest families in the Swedish society, who, according to some sources, really loved this dish and made it popular in Sweden.
Wallenberg.
Number 3, pyttipanna. What do Swedish people eat when they have too much month at the end of the money? Pyttipanna is the answer.
Pyttipanna.
We go from one of the fancier dishes to one of the cheapest ones. Pyttipanna is basically leftovers cut in small cubes and then mixed together. Or at
wow. Okay. We have the exact same dish, maybe with different ingredients, but the exact same premise in the UK. It's called bubble and squeak. So bubble and squeak is basically all the leftovers from the end of the week, normally done on I want to say it's normally done it's normally done at the beginning of the week, I think Monday, because after you have your Sunday dinner, you get all the leftovers and you mush it together. And then you put it in a pan and you fry it. And I think there's some other things that go into it, but I don't know the ingredients. But it's like that. Is this like that? Let's hear.
Fancier dishes to one of the cheapest ones. Pyttipanna is basically leftovers cut in small cubes and then mixed together. Or at least that is the origin of this dish. Traditional pyttipanna has potatis, lök, fläskkött, and maybe also nötkött. On the top of the pyttipanna, you put ägg och rödbetor. Another of these few vegetables that actually grow in Sweden. Pyttipanna is something that we eat at home. However, with time, it's something you can eat at the restaurants as well. And we came up with a fancier version that we called Biff Rydberg. It is called Rydberg because it was created in a hotel called Hotel Rydberg. Nummer 4. This dish can only be eaten på torsdagar, on Thursdays. At least that is the tradition. And the dish is ärtsoppa och pannkakor. Ärtsoppa is a kind of pea soup.
Ärtsoppa, I think that's what she said. I'm trying to copy what she's saying. So pea soup. That looks nice. I like pea soup. I like variations of pea soup. Obviously not this pea soup.
Made of split peas. The soup has also some pork inside, among other things.
Looks tasty.
And after eating your pea soup, you normally eat some pannkakor med sylt. Normally jordgubbssylt.
That looks like pancakes.
Which is strawberry jam. But like we said, this dish is normally eaten on Thursdays, på torsdagar. During school lunches, every Thursday it is ärtsoppa och pannkakor on the menu. Having it on a Wednesday would be crazy. That would never happen. And skipping the soup and only eating the pancakes was not allowed in school. This is also the meal that you will see.
Because kids like sweet things, right? They'll be like, oh, I don't want the soup. I just want the jam and was that cream and the pancakes? Yeah, I understand.
In
kids like desserts.
Restaurants, but only on Thursdays. So why this obsession with this meal on Thursdays?
Yeah, why?
For that, we need to go back to the medieval times. This meal was then considered a great meal. A fancy tasty meal full of calories that would be super filling. Which you needed because on Fridays you would need to fast. At least this is one of the theories. Another version of this ärtsoppa och pannkakor is raggmunk och fläsk.
Raggmunk. I like the roll of the tongue. That's very satisfying. Say that again.
You would need to fast. At least this is one of the theories. Another version of this ärtsoppa och pannkakor is raggmunk och fläsk.
Raggmunk och fläsk. Did I say that right? That's really nice to say. It looks nice as well.
Raggmunk is an alternative to the pannkakor and ärtsoppa and can also be served at some restaurants on Thursday as an alternative option. Raggmunk is like a pancake but made of potato, served with fläsk, which is basically a thicker version of bacon. And then we also have,
so good.
because why not, lingon. Nummer 5, renskapsgryta. Now we come to one of the most
Renskapsgryta. I don't know what that one's a bit too difficult.
exotic ones. Renskapsgryta. Ren means reindeer. And this is one of these animals we have here in the north of the world. And gryta means stew.
Gryta.
So yeah, Swedes basically eats Rudolph.
Nah! We knew you ate reindeer. A meat's a meat, to be honest. I feel like no animal is more important than another animal. If you're going to eat a cow, then you should be able to eat a reindeer or a buffalo or any type of meat. You can't discriminate on meat.
So it's a perfect dish if you didn't like the gift that Santa gave you the last year. This is again one of the fancier dishes on the list, and maybe something you would eat more at a restaurant than you would eat at someone's home.
Okay.
And can you guess what we serve this with? Well, of course, potatis och lingon.
Potatis.
Number 6, stekt strömming. No, not surströmming. Don't worry about it. This one, stekt strömming, is something that you can actually eat and enjoy. Strömming is a kind of fish, herring. And there are two types of herring that are very popular in Sweden. Strömming and sill. The one we're going to talk about today is stekt strömming, a very popular alternative for dagens lunch, which is basically the menu of the day that you eat during lunchtime. Stekt means that it has been cooked in a stekpanna, a frying pan. But I would say that it's more like a grilled fish than a fried fish. And can you guess what we serve this with? Yes, of course, potatis och lingon. Again. Nummer 7, toast skagen. This is a dish that is more served as a starter and förrätt. It consists.
Interesting. Is that fish eggs on top of something that's like a mushy type of... Is that fish eggs on top of shrimp? Like a shrimp with like some type of sauce and like a little like cracker thing underneath with dill on top.
Of a toast with räkor, mayonnaise, rödlök, dill and some caviar.
Wow, that's very close. Yeah, pretty much. Nice.
And some other things. And since we have some caviar, it is of course a little bit more fancier. Very popular during the summers. Nummer 8. Lax med dillstuvad potatis. This dish is one of the most popular ones. Very popular during the summers. Nummer 8. Lax med dillstuvad potatis. This dish is one of the most popular ones eaten by Swedes, both at home and at the restaurants. Lax is our word for salmon. Dillstuvad potatis is kind of a mix between potato and some kind of dill sauce. It looks like this. Nummer 9. Västerbottenpaj. This is a super popular pie, often served Västerbottenpaj. This is a super popular pie, often served for special events. It's made with Västerbottenost, which is a cheese that comes from the region of Västerbotten.
Okay.
It's a quite strong, cured and flavored cheese. And this pie goes well with everything. I really recommend it. And finally, number 10. Kött med pommes och bea.
Kött med pommes.
Most Swedish thing with this dish is actually not the meat nor the pommes. It is actually the sauce, bearnaise sauce, which is also called bea. A very, very popular sauce in Sweden that we eat with meat. So if we don't eat meat with lingon, then we have bea instead. Bea is actually of French origin. It's kind of a mayo. It uses smör, äggulor, schalottenlök.
Smör, äggulor, skeleton. I can't remember what she said for that. Scallots.
Dragon, persilja och vinäger. And some other things.
Vinäger.
Pommes is slang for pommes frites, which is the Swedish word for French fries. So, to sum up, what is typical Swedish food? Potatoes, potatis, for sure. And also some meat, with lingon or maybe bea. And very, very little for the vegan or for the vegetarian. Maybe some peas, but that's kind of it.
So if you're a vegetarian or vegan, Sweden is not the place for you. Luckily, I'm not.
And there are, of course, more dishes than this. For example, korvstroganoff, blodpudding.
Blood pudding. Ooh. So blood pudding, we have that as well. We call it black pudding in the UK. It's very nice. We normally fry it and have it with breakfast.
Pan beef. But that's for another video. Which of all these dishes have you eaten? And which one would you like to try?
I'd like to try all of them, and I've not had any of them. So I'm looking forward to trying all these foods when I go to Sweden. That was very, very good. You've got a lot of food, actually. A lot of nice food. You have patates and lingon. Is it lingon? With everything. You have that with everything. I love potatoes, so good for me. Guys, this was a great video. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. By the way, before you go, remember to vote on my community tab for Film Fridays and which Swedish TV show I will be watching with you guys on my Patreon. So if you go to my community tab, thank you to everyone who's voted already. But if you haven't voted, go on my community tab and click which TV show that you want to pick. So guys, thank you very much for watching. Until the next one, I will see you guys later.